Presidents are selected, not elected. In politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. I'm not the smartest fellow in the world, but I can sure pick smart colleagues. There should be no bitterness or hate where the sole thought is the welfare of the United States of America. No man can occupy the office of president without realizing that he is president of all the people. It is the purpose of government to see that not only the legitimate interests of the few are protected, but that the welfare and rights of the many are conserved. Democracy alone, of all forms of government, enlists the full force of men's enlightened will. The United States Constitution has proven itself the most marvelously elastic compilation of rules of government ever written. A radical is a man with both feet firmly planted in the air. A conservative is a man with two perfectly good legs, who, however, has never learned to walk forward. A reactionary is a somnambulist walking backwards. A liberal is a man who uses his legs and his hands at the behest, at the command of his head. Better the occasional faults of a government that lives in a spirit of charity than the consistent omissions of a government frozen in the ice of its own indifference. Not only our future economic soundness, but the very soundness of our democratic institutions depends on the determination of our government to give employment to idle men. Let us never forget that government is ourselves, and not an alien power over us. The ultimate rulers of our democracy are not a president, and senators, and congressmen, and government officials, but the voters of this country. It is right for us, who believe in democracy, to keep the democratic processes progressive, in other words, moving forward with the advances in civilization. That is why it is dangerous for democracy to stop moving forward, because any period of stagnation increases the numbers of those who demand action. They who seek to establish systems of government based on the regimentation of all human beings by a handful of individual rulers call this a new order. It is not new, and it is not order. The real truth of the matter is, as you and I know, that a financial element in the large centers has owned the government ever since the days of Andrew Jackson. Government by organized money is just as dangerous as government by organized mob. No government can help the destinies of people who insist in putting sectional and class consciousness ahead of general weal. Too often in recent history, liberal governments have been wrecked on rocks of loose fiscal policy. Democracy cannot succeed unless those who express their choice are prepared to choose wisely. The real safeguard of democracy therefore, is education. No group, and no government, can properly prescribe precisely what should constitute the body of knowledge with which true education is concerned. The liberty of a democracy is not safe if the people tolerate the growth of private power to a point where it comes stronger than their democratic state itself. That, in its essence, is fascism, ownership of government by an individual, by a group. I regard reduction in federal spending as one of the most important issues in this campaign. In my opinion, it is the most direct and effective contribution that government can make to business. I believe that in every country, the people themselves are more peaceably and liberally inclined than their governments. We have faith that future generations will know that here, in the middle of the 20th century, there came a time when men of good will found a way to unite, and produce, and fight to destroy the forces of ignorance, and intolerance, and slavery, and war. We are not isolationists, except in so far as we seek to isolate ourselves completely from war. Yet we must remember that so long as war exists on earth, there will be some danger that even the nation, which most ardently desires peace, may be drawn into war. If there is anyone who still wonders why this war is being fought, let him look to Norway. If there is anyone who has any delusions that this war could have been averted, let him look to Norway. And if there is anyone who doubts the democratic will to win, again I say, let him look to Norway. Over 90% of all national deficits, from 1921 to 1939, were caused by payments for past, present, and future wars. Our national determination to keep free of foreign wars and foreign entanglements cannot prevent us from feeling deep concern when ideals and principles that we have cherished are challenged. More than an end to war, we want an end to the beginnings of all wars. A dark old world was devastated by wars between conflicting religions. A dark modern world faces wars between conflicting economic and political fanaticisms, in which are intertwined race hatreds. War is a contagion. Many causes produce war. There are ancient hatreds, turbulent frontiers, the legacy of old forgotten, far-off things, and battles long ago. There are newborn fanaticisms, convictions on the part of certain peoples that they have become the unique depositories of ultimate truth and right. Physical strength can never permanently withstand the impact of spiritual force. Democracy alone has constructed an unlimited civilization capable of infinite progress in the improvement of human life. Thank you for watching and for supporting us.